Hello, my name is Steven. I'll be doing your tour in your leisure travel 2018 Serenity. Going to go over a lot of the features with the unit here, a lot of the bells and whistles. I'm going to make this as simple and easy as possible to understand. First off here at your engine, um, this section right here, this is your air intake, which connects right to the roof of the lid here. You don't want to cover this with anything. You just want to get in there, check the filter, clean it out every once in a while, make sure it's running at optimum air efficiency. All your fluids are filled. You have your transmission, your power steering, your windshield wiper fluid there. You have another little component here in the front, which is your DEF, it's your diesel fuel that you want to monitor every once in a while. Probably have to change it like every 5,000 kilometers. There should be a light on your dash that does light up, letting you know when you need to top it up. You never want to top it up with the old stuff. You want to make sure that it runs empty and then put fresh on top of that. You don't want to mix any new with the old. Also, with if you have any issues jump starting the engine, you basically can connect your jumper cables here. This is your positive. You just want to twist and push that in there so you can put your positive connection there, and in the side of the wall here is your negative mounted right to the inside on the side of the unit there. Okay, and basically just closing your engine is just your hood, I should say. It's just lifting up that there, closing that down, and giving it a clip. The release is inside the driver's side, and the extra release is here on the front. Any issues you have with your engine, you make sure you take it to a Mercedes dealer or a Mercedes rep, as RV dealerships do not work on the engine chassis. Now on this side, inside the door, this is where you're going to put your diesel fuel. Okay, obviously just make sure it is diesel. This has to be closed before you can close that door, because it will jam if you don't. The hood release is just tucked right inside the wall here. You just pull that and it unlocks the hood for you. Okay, and then in the back there, in the very back, that is your battery disconnect just for the chassis. There is also one inside for the house. I'll show you that once we get around. Um, on the dash here, you have your GPS, radio, and everything. I'll show you a couple of features on there once we get inside. Um, on the door lights themselves, as your door opens, each side has a little spotlight at the top there, illuminating the area at nighttime. And then in the door itself, you have a little storage compartment that you can keep maps or whatever you want if you don't want to keep everything tucked inside this one. So it's just two little twist locks to lock them into place. All right. So next here we have your Furrion power cord. Your motorhome is 30 amps. This cord is yours. It is a twist and lock. So once you enter, you have no one to trip over the wire here. So you just release the twist, take it out there. Just remember, always unplug first before you take the cord out of the unit. You don't want to cause a shock or anything to trip. Down below, in this storage compartment here, this houses your 1,000 watt Magnum inverter, because you're able to convert your battery power into usable power. There are certain outlets inside the unit that will be powered up on the battery power. But once you turn this inverter on, a lot more things might come on, like your TV, certain dinette outlets might come on. But those would be labeled inside, showing you which ones will work on the inverter. Next, we have your Cummins generator. So this generator, in the event you lose battery power, you can start this baby up here. There's a switch on the inside. These little handles here release, so you want to turn them up to the right to the open position and just pull the cover off, just like that. So you have your starter here, and to start this, it has stop and prime. You want to hold that down until the red light clicks on. Once it clicks on, then you're going to hit start. So I'm going to cut that out so you can hear me talk. But it's as easy as to start just like that. You want to hold the start till it really kicks in and starts running on its own. Here is your oil. And there is a breaker switch tucked down here. It's a 30 amp one pole switch. If you ever see that in the forward position, you always want, if your generator's not starting, make sure you check that, and you just have to flip it back into the on position. Not often will that trip, but if you ever notice, just make sure you keep an eye on that first before you try to start the generator. Inside there's a counter. I'll show you that once we get there. But there's after so many hours, there's certain things you have to do to the generator: clean filters, get oil checks, get the diagnostic done. But all that will be in your manuals, and you want to pay attention to the the timer that's on that monitor inside. But you want to put the bottom of the door on, and then lock the handles, and that is good and secure for you. Now with these compartment doors, they all open and close the same way. You basically just lift them up. You're going to turn the latch and then flip the handle down, and it secures the door into place. And just be mindful of the exhaust pipe that's there, because it will get very hot. Now down on the back side, this is your water center sanity dump station. So the first knob you have here, this is how you actually can fill the tank of your fresh water. And also, if you're doing a full hookup, you don't want to fill the tank, you can leave it in this position here, and this will go straight to the taps inside. Um, just to flip it over that way is how you fill the tank. And there's a gauge inside, will let you know when your tank's full. Also, there's a low point drain. When the tank does fill, the excess water will drip out the bottom. So you're not going to have to worry about water leaking anywhere inside the motorhome. Now you have your outside shower, hot and cold taps. Now this is also doubles as a low point drain to drain the fresh water. The water lines inside the unit. And it's just simple fact. Just turn your taps on, run the shower. You can take the shower head off and just let it run out that way. You have the water pump access here, which is also inside the unit. Show you that as well. And then your propane connection here for when you want to fill the propane tank inside the unit. And on this side, you have this switch here is actually how you turn the gas on inside the unit. So it only just says on at the top, but just flick it up, your propane is on. And then here you have cable and satellite hookup. If you ever hook up the cable, you can actually feed the lines. There's a little hole in the back corner here that you can feed your cable lines in so you can have this compartment closed. And then gray valve, this is basically just draining your gray water, which is your sink and your shower. Um, you will have a hose in here, which is a storage area for it as well in the back. But you have a 20-foot hose here, and there's another 20-foot hose on the other side. And if you take a look right on the far right wall here, that little connection there is your sanity flush. So when you're draining your black tank, which the valve is here, and the black tank is the toilet, when you're draining the tank, you could hook a hose up to that, and that will shoot water into the black tank, washing any remnants of waste and paper that's in there. Um, I would recommend to have two separate hoses, one for the freshwater hookup and one for the sanity dump. There is a check valve in there, so you're not going to worry about it, but just for sanitary reasons, you want to have two separate hoses clearly marked so you know which one is for your city and which one is for the sanity. Okay, I just want to tuck that back in there, and there is a door to close the sewer hose in. Can't really show you on the camera, but it's right on the left-hand side. Has a little latch you can close so the hose is not falling out. Okay, on the back side here, you have a storage area. This little housing is your water filter. There is a little wrench inside that you will put on here so you can unscrew it and it just drops down. You want to be mindful to know the filter that's inside the unit, which is normally a number 8, but there are several different numbers that take out certain impurities from the water. But number 8 is the most common number for these cartridges here. And you just want to be careful as well in here because you have a little water pipe there. You don't want anything too heavy to knock into that to break it. But the same as the other compartments, this one here, twist and down. Now it might be kind of hard to see, but that little black circle at the top there, that's your backup camera, which is linked into the dash monitor, your GPS. So that's really easy. It's a nice position, gives you a good 180 view of the back, pretty much from the bumper to about 5 feet out. Now on the side, you have some more storage. This one here kind of links into the one from the back, but this is just under the bed. Um, but it also goes down just a little bit further. So for anything long that you want to put in there. Okay. And then you have the bottom storage. Again, this is the extra sewer hose I gave you. Honestly, if you're going to use this hose, this will not be the place where you want to put it after you use it. Maybe get a bag, unless you use the other storage. You get another storage tube to hold this in. And yeah, this one does not have a light. But yeah, nice carpeted storage for you there. Yeah. Nice, another carpeted storage compartment. This one is not as big as the one in the back there, but you have some good storage in there. And you have a receptacle here if you ever want to plug anything on the outside. So right here is your furnace exhaust. I'll be honest and tell you that the heat that comes out of here is pretty intense. So just be careful what you're putting up next to this, or if you have the door here, or young kids or anything like that, it gets pretty hot. So just be careful with that. All right. Now, on the outside here, you have your step. There is a switch inside that you can turn on and off. If you are finished camping, when you close the door, the step automatically folds in. But if I am camping, you don't necessarily want the motor to be going in and out every time you open and close the door. So there's a switch on the wall here that kills the power to the step. So when you do and you are camping, the step doesn't constantly keep going in and out. Now, as you look there, you have your awning. So I'm just gonna fix the step here. The awning switch is in the passenger side door here. The red one is are the LED lights on there, and then here is how you actually extend it. You do have to hold the button down until it's fully extended. Once it does get fully extended, it stops on its own. Nice and smooth, nice and quiet. Now, your awning has some supports here, which actually mount to the side of the motorhome. And the legs are actually on the ends of the tips of the legs. They are magnetized a little bit so they can stay inside the track. But you just want to push them down to the end. You do have to lift it up a bit here to get it out of the track. Now these legs serve two purposes, or I should have two uses. You have to release this orange little clip here so you can extend the leg. Now, if you wanted to, you could put the leg inside here. You have to lift the little pin to lock it into place. So this will give it a little more support if those windy days and you want to lock the orange clip. Or you have the option, if you don't want it that way, they have these little holes on the end of the feet here that if you wanted to, you could spike it to the ground. And it gives it a little more support that way. But be mindful though that these awnings are basically sunshades. They can hold light rain, light wind, but if the wind starts to pick up and you see your awning buckling, you want to definitely pull it in because you don't want the awning getting ripped off. Okay? And as easy as that sets up that, you want to release the clip. And this orange clip must always be out when you're extending or retracting the legs. So once you get that down, you want to flip that in, and that locks it into place. Now there's a little couple of T grooves here that you want to twist that in so you can slide it back and lift up. Just 1 second. Just like that, because once it gets back in the track, it stops from falling out. But you can put them right together. Like I said, it has two little disc magnets at the heads to hold them together in place. Okay, and then now I'm just going to pull it in. And the same way it stopped when it was extended, when it gets right up against the motorhome, it will just stop moving on its own. So you don't have to worry about putting too much pressure on the motor, just like that. Now we're going to head inside and show you some more of the bells and whistles on the inside here. Now, the switches I was showing you for outside, this is the step motor. So in that position, it's always going to open and close, and the up position is locking it in place. This switch is a toggle switch for the outside light. So in the down position, it'll illuminate the two handles on the unit, and in the up position, there's a porch light on the side of the door here. And then this one here is, I meant to show you, inside where your water compartment is, there's a LED light in there. This actually controls that light in that compartment. And then this one here are the accent lighting above the cabinets. And then the dial, this is your ceiling lights. So you can actually dim the lights if you want. The bedroom area has a dimmer as well, completely off. And whatever brightness you want, you can have it right there for you. Nice padded coat rack here for you. And down on this side here, you have a one-time use fire extinguisher. Just that it's perfect that it's strapped in right there. And the little red dial is your battery disconnect. So if you're ever storing the unit, you just click it into the off position, and that will stop any drawer on the batteries. Because there are certain parasitic drawers that are in here, like the light on the radio, the propane detector, things like that, constantly drawing battery power. So that's a good way to preserve the life of your batteries without having to actually physically disconnect them. Now your stove, I did turn the gas on. So this has a little sparker in here. So basically you just turn to the flame and you cook your sparkle for a couple of seconds. And then when you let go, you can turn it up and as low as you want, as high as you want. Completely turning it clockwise, shuts it right off. And the other one lights just the same. Now obviously if you're cooking, these little metal bars here will get hot. This is glass, so just make sure this cools down before you put the glass because you don't want that to shatter. Okay, and then on the wall, you have your thermostat. So as you touch it, it lights up blue and just basically says off on the bottom. So hitting the mode settings, the first setting on here is fan. So you have your high and low settings on fan. The AC unit has a couple vents at the front and the back here. You can actually close these vents if you want, if you don't want the air directly coming on you. And it would just kind of push out more to the smaller vents on the end. And like I said, you have high and low. Now, the next setting is the air conditioner. Now, what you can do when it's on, actually, I went a little too fast there. You need to switch this to automatic before you leave the fan setting. Because if you leave it on high and low, the fan will continue to blow as well as the AC and the furnace. So you want to just make sure you have it on auto before you switch. Now this is currently in Fahrenheit. If you want to change the temperature to Celsius, you press up and down at the same time, and it switches right over. So obviously when it's in the automatic setting for the AC, you can set the temperature to whatever you want, and it will come on and off accordingly. After the AC, you have your furnace. So this will run for a second, cut off, and then your furnace will come on shortly after. And just remember, everything down, all the vents on the bottom are furnace, and everything up top is your AC. You have the two intake filters here. It's the simple fact of cleaning them out, undo the clip, pull it out, clean out the filters, snap them right back in. And as you hear that subtle little blow, that's your furnace blowing there. And to completely turn it off, you just cycle right through after the furnace and goes to off. Now, if for any reason that this seems to start acting wonky, you can actually do a hard reset on this by holding the power and the up button down at the same time. and then you get those two dashes. Leave it there for about a minute or so, and then you can go back in and turn it on. And it doesn't happen all the time, but there's sometimes you might see glitching, or just reboot it, and you shouldn't have any problems at all. But what I'm going to do is actually leave the AC on because it is a little hot here in DC today. All right, here you have your nice backsplash so you don't damage the wood from cooking. And then these little hooks are hanging whatever you see fit. You can slide them, but just turning them like that. You can slide them to any position and then locking them back into place. Or if you want to get more simple factor, just taking them out just like that. Then here, in the back side of your counter, you have, it could be a waste bin. I've known some people use it as an ice bucket, but that's a nice little compartment there, a little mini can. And it's nice and flush with the counter. Then you have your sink here. I definitely recommend, if you're traveling, you want to put the stopper in upside down so there are no mishaps. If the taps are left on and the sink is filling up with water, this is a good way that the water would drain out of the unit. I'm actually going to turn the pump on. Show you your water pressure coming out of here, which is pretty good. Yeah, obviously hot and cold. The tap does swivel as well. Just place it in like that. So I would recommend kind of leaving it like that. So if there's any excess water, it will drop into the sink there. And you have some good storage compartments under here. You have a nice pull-out tray, which locks into place wherever you want to put in there. It's pretty deep there. And then on this side, you have a little bit more storage. And then, not house for your remotes, but your your utensil drawer. As you see, these drawers are pretty snug too, so you're not going to worry about them coming out. So there you go, some nice deep shelf. It's there for you. Yeah. As well as on the back side. Got a little basket here for whatever items. This is a motion light, so as the cabinet opens, the light will go off. And then just a little bit of storage at the very bottom there. Okay. Not too much to tell you about your microwave. This is a convection microwave. Um, Definitely what you want to do is remove the plate for travel, or most people take a big towel or blanket and wrap it around and leave it in there so it's not banging around while driving. You have a little pantry storage here. This is the locking mechanism, so you want to make sure that it's locked. So as you press it, it opens up, and then you can slide it. And these are fixed shelves, so they are at their permanent height there. And then a little spot down the bottom there. Okay. So your refrigerator by Dometic. Your freezer space has got your little ice cube tray here. And then you have to release the fridge by pressing these buttons down, just like that. Now, currently, I've had this set up to like 5. I would recommend with the Dometic just leaving the temperature maybe 3 or 4. It's a good setting for this. Now, I have the A on here. So this is basically automatic. So right now, I have it set to the electricity. So basically, if the power goes out for any reason, it will automatically switch to propane for you. You can have it strictly set to propane, or you can actually run this on your batteries. So this is a good way. Most travel trailers or fifth wheels, you don't have the option of the battery, so you shouldn't really drive with the propane on. But if you have items in here, you set it to your battery, you don't have to worry about your items getting warm for any reason. Uh, this here is just a defrost setting. If there is any frost coming on the back, you can hit that and it will defrost it. Power, just hold the power down and it shuts off. Now, if you don't want to leave it on for whatever reason, this here will keep your fridge cold for about 6 to 8 hours before you need to actually turn it back on. So if you want to conserve battery power or anything like that, you can do that as well. And that just snaps in like that. Now, in this compartment where I turned the water pump on, actually come around this way. This also has a motion light in the cabinet. There's a lot of your switches here. So basically your water pump is on here. Outside, there was that water pump switch as well, so you can turn it off from there. And this is your monitor area, so you can basically see how much voltage is coming into your battery, that's really good right there. Your fresh tank, this is reading in percentage, so you have 11% water, but we're basically filled it up so we can show you the taps. Your gray, like I mentioned before, is your shower and your sinks. The black is the toilet, and then it shows you how much propane you have in the tank. So you got 46% propane. Okay. Your battery power, I'm going to show you a propane detector at the front. If the battery runs too low, that propane detector is going to start beeping. So don't panic at first. Come check your battery power. And if it's low, below that 13 point something, I believe it's like 11%. If it gets below, it might start beeping like every 30 minutes. So like I said, check that first and then shut your propane off. Now here is the generator switch. Starts the same way. You hold down that stop button till the light comes on. Then you hit start. And just like that, it's running. Here shows you how many hours that it's been running. And like I mentioned, you keep your manual, and it will tell you after so many hours what you need to do. And that's the best way to keep your own generator running at its optimum. Here is your Magnum inverter panel. Basically, all you need to do if you ever want to use the battery to power certain things, all you have to do is just turn it on. And you don't need to do anything else. This is a settings, but this is already set for what your need is. You just turn it on and off as you see fit. And then here is your Trumer water heater. This is one of the best water heaters on the market. Right now in the current center position, it is off. You have the eco setting, which is it doesn't heat the water as hot. So if you just want to conserve water, if you're just washing hands, whatever, you can have it set there. This second position is full hot. So obviously you need to have your water mixed, but that will be very hot. You get about a good 30 minutes of straight hot water before it starts to heat up again, but you can have it there if you want. The next setting is winterize. So if you want to drain the tank for storing it for the winter, but depends on where you are in the world, depends on the weather. So if you're obviously here in Canada, you want to winterize your unit. And then you have the clean setting. I'm not going to turn to clean because if you are cleaning the unit, there's no coming back from that. Once you set it to clean, it has to go through the full cycle before you can do anything else. So just be mindful of that. Don't accidentally turn to clean because you're going to have to get committed for about, I think, 40 minutes of time to get that cleaned out. So I'm going to set that back to the off position. Here is your stabilizers. Right now I have them extended because you want to keep the rocking down on the unit. Uh, Simple fact is just hit and retract. Just press it once and it does its thing, and then it will stop, and then you can kill the power altogether on that there. Now on the back wall, you have your solar panel controller. This is just charging up your batteries. Again, like the inverter monitor, you don't need to touch this for anything. This is just letting you know how many volts are coming into your battery. As that says 13.9, and your battery level says about 13.5. So they work hand in hand, but you shouldn't have to touch this at all. And on the sidewall, this is all your major appliances: furnace, stove, fridge. It is basically the make and the model and how they run. So this is a good, helpful tool so you don't have to go fumbling through the owner's manuals. It's all right there for you if you have any issues with those appliances. And as you see that leg in the back there, this is actually your table leg and the table stand, which mounts in the front. I'll show you there by the behind the seats. They snap nice and secure there for travel so they're not banging around. Really easy to set up, and I will show you that right now. And this is a very solid table, so just be mindful of when you're taking it out. You don't want to drop it. Okay, that sits right in there, like that. And this has a little knob on the back so you can tighten up the grab. Just like that. Tighten it up so it's not spinning. And then if it's just one person having something, or if you're entertaining more, Yeah, fold it out that way, and like I say, you can position it any way you want, and it's nice and secure in there, so it's not shaky too much. Let's pull that up. Yeah, it will be stuck. It'll be like pulling the sword off the stone. Just want to make sure that these are nice and secure in here before traveling. Just like that. All snapped in, ready to go. I'll leave that on. All right. And you got some clothing drawers here. This one doesn't come out obviously because it's hidden up against the bed, but you can just lift up the mattress a bit, gives you a little more space. And then those there. Yeah. And you have your privacy curtain here. You see the track goes around. It's a little snap in the wall. It slides right over, and it's a little magnet there, so that will hold it into place. Yeah, gives you a little privacy from everyone out there. And like I was mentioning about the dimmer for the bedroom, you have the light switch right underneath the TV here. And then you have lighting underneath the cabinets. You have a switch here for these three. And then these ones here, the light itself is the switch for on and off. Great cabinet space up there. Right in the center, there's a button you have to press, and it gives you your cabinet there. Just make sure you snap them back in for security. And there is that. And on the wall in here, you have well, obviously plug in, but this is where they would prep if you had the satellite, and this is the power switch for it, if they installed it because you're prepped for it already. But right now, you have just your standard antenna with the green light on. As long as that light's on, you can get free TV. And wherever you are, you can just scan for the channels. Really easy. Average time is about maybe 5 minutes to find channels. Out here on our launch pad, we get about 18 to 21 channels, which is really, not bad. Worst case, you know, you can get a DVD player and plug it in and get entertained. You also have a USB in here for charging devices, and as well as on the back wall here, you have a USB charging center as well. So a couple of ways to plug in your devices. Now your emergency exit window, you got the two handles there. You basically lift them up straight, and the window swings open. And then you have your shades, two styles. You have the white, and then you have just your day shade. So if you didn't want too much light coming in. And all the windows have those same two setup on their windows. And then you have access to the storage underneath here. This has a little kickstand to keep the bed up because the bed is pretty heavy. So that's a little storage separate from the outside base. And to lower it, you have to lift it up and pull it back down. Now, into your bathroom area. You have a wraparound door here, secure spot, and you have a lock once it's closed. Locks into place. You have another water pump switch here that would turn on. And your toilet, flushing the toilet is basically halfway down. Glad I turned it off. Halfway down, fills it up with water. You use the bathroom, when you're done, all the way down, flushes it out. And when during the hotter months, if you don't have the AC running, leave some water in the bowl because that will act as an extra seal to keep the odors down. And another tip too, you don't want to use the bathroom when it's dry, so flush the toilet a couple times, put some water in, and your septic chemical help keep the odors and the waste from building up in there. Now this is just a little night light here. You actually just have to hold it to get some light, but this actually doesn't come with the unit, and I think it was there before, but it's not bad at all. Not bad at all. And you have your vanity, same button as the cabinets outside. Storage for your towels. And there actually stays up on its own. And that snaps into place. On the ceiling here, you have an exhaust vent. So right now the vent's closed. This is your handle here. So if you want to open it, just push it up. And the red button here engages the fan. So especially with the confined space and you're taking a shower, you definitely probably want to have this open to vent out some of that hot air. And just close it, just pull it down, just like that. And then you have your tap here, good pressure out of the bathroom sink. And as well, like the kitchen, have that flipped over so that's not filling up with water. And then your main bathroom light, and then the shower light here. Okay, here in your shower, you do have a nice shower head here. It has a pulse spray and as well as the wide stream. This little button here, so if you are not hooked up to full water and using your tank, this is a diverter so that you can wash yourself, turn the water off, lather up, turn it back on to rinse off. You also have the option of not leaving it on here and have it mounted here. Now this just gives you an adjustable height, so you can have it as high as low as you want. Obviously that being the highest, but this little gray button here releases the brake, so you can slide it up and down, or turn it to whatever position you want. And it's obviously your on and off. Just be careful, obviously, before you get in the shower, close the door before you turn that on because you will spray the entire bathroom. And these Nautilus doors are pretty neat. They are really rugged, really tough here. It also has a squeegee feature inside the back here. So as the door closes, the water will squeegee into the tub, saving from wetting up the floor. And to release, you just push or pull, depending on which side you're on, and this closes like that. But yeah, nice, strong, sturdy floor in there for you, so you don't have to worry about any dipping. Toilet paper holder. And forgot to show you this, but this is a hand sprayer, so you can spray out the toilet if you want. And I'm going to turn the pump off. And then you got a little bit of storage under there. Just be mindful again with the piping, not to put anything that's going to cause that to break. Alrighty. Now, the TV you have here, there's actually swivels out. It has a release pin at the back here so you can take it off the bracket. So that can swing all the way around to the dining area if you want to watch TV that way. Or if you're just laying in bed and you want to watch, obviously not that close, but that just swings in just like that for you. Um, it's nothing really special with this TV. It's just that it's perfect, that it fits right inside here. So it's not necessarily an RV TV, but this just locks right into place like that for you. And yeah, so like moving forward to the front side there, I'm going to show you the other sleeping area. This area here, you have two configurations. Okay, so this diagram here shows you your cushion layout to set up the single bed, which is immediately behind the driver and passenger seat. The numbers are tagged on the cushions themselves, so you put them in that configuration, and then you'll be good to go for the single bed. And underneath this panel, there is another diagram that if you want to do a front bed cushion layout, this will utilize all the cushions and give you a bigger sleeping area. Just refer to those again. The cushions are numbered, making life easy for you. Yeah, and underneath this same panel, you will see the back of your Truma water heater, the bypasses, the water pump here. Um, this has a hose connected to it. Actually, let me just flip this up all the way. Because if you ever decide to winterize this yourself, on the pump it has an extra hose here. I will just remove this marker. So if you winterize it, it's basically siphoning antifreeze into the system, which you just put that into the jug, turn the water pump on, and this will winterize the water lines for you. This comes standard with the most RVs, so you just want to tuck it down there away. And then you want to flip this back down. Just like that. All right, so here you have your Jensen Bluetooth DVD radio. Really easy and user-friendly. As you have here, You got your inside speakers. Now you have a couple of zones here. You got, I'm just going to shut them all down. So zone A are the front speakers here. Zone B are the bedroom. And then there is no zone C. This is just a generic radio. Some units have outside speakers or different, the front driving, common area, bed area. So that's all you need to know. It's basically just like, think of it as a car radio on steroids with a little more features in it. Like I said, you got your DVD, the remote who's on in the drawer there. Has a USB as well. So if you have any on like movies on a USB stick or anything like that, pictures, this will read it fine. It has an alarm setting on here and the Bluetooth setting as well. The only thing this doesn't play really is Blu-ray. Not too many people still have that, but really easy. Any picture disc or any type of music, it will play in here fine. Um, so you have your basic AM, FM, and yeah, like I said, it's really, really user friendly. And just power it off just like that. Again, one of the biggest parasitic drawers in an RV is the radio because the light never goes off. So again, remember that when turning on the battery disconnect. And down here, you have your converter breaker box. So you have all your fuses and all your switches. Everything is marked here for you on the breakers as well as the fuses. Um, when the fuses do blow, they should have a red light that comes up next to it, letting you know which one has blown out. That's why you see this little tinted glass here. So it makes life easy without having to pull and check each one. But it also has a little cooling feature inside of it. So when you are plugged in or whatever, it will. You might hear a little fan kick in. That's just keeping itself cool so it doesn't overheat. And that just snaps back into play. And inside this area here is the actual unit for your furnace. So that's why we have it nice and open for you. Doesn't make too much noise. And you have your vent here, which turns around there. It's going to be kind of hard to see, but right on this wall here is your propane and carbon detector, a little black rectangular box there. So you see the green light on, it's just letting you know there's power coming in and it's safe. If there was anything wrong, it will flash amber, and if it's really picking up anything, it'll be red. So just keep an eye on that every once in a while. Okay, so you got this little storage area here, which is some of your manuals. It would be nice to say this was all of them, but you have some more up here. And this is the big bag. So, yeah. So that's all your details. All the components in here are in between these two little packages. Now, these two cabinets at the front here operate a little different than the other ones with the button. These actually, just when you close it down, snaps into place like that. Yeah, just nice deep spacing in there for you. All right. And now on the front side here, in your driver's area, you have your media center. So just turn it on there. As it says, it tells you don't let it distract you. So you have your radio. Then media is if you had there's actually a card in here. So this person had some music on there, look like Cab Calloway and stuff like that. So you insert it, reads the card, and then starts playing. So yeah, sound is it's just standard speaker system in here. Um, Now you can have your phone connected to this dash. Obviously, you got your keypad here to make phone calls. And this also has a speaker system so that you can actually voice talk on this. Um, this is one of the simpler GPS systems in most of the motorhomes. But I'm just gonna press navigation. Let's turn that down. Yeah, you can basically cycle through all your settings in here and press the center button there as your activated button. Yeah, so you can, this is not the touchscreen version there. But yeah, you just cycle through. You can punch in your addresses or whatever, zoom in and out just like that. So I really, there really is a simple system on this one. Not too many overly features on this. Like I said, really simple to use. Um, and all the other controls here, just your AC and your airflow. This right here is actually just a oversized paper clip, so you can put your maps in there just like that. And down below, you have your cup holder there, a little coin tray, obviously the cigarette lighter, and a little storage up under there. Now, on the dash, this has a switch on it, letting you know that if I started the engine, if I had the stabilizers down, that light will come on. Now, this is beeping obviously for the seatbelt, and that the fact the door is open right now, and the steps being out. Now, this has a failsafe on it, if I'm correct, that if the steps were left out and you turned the ignition, they would automatically close for you. But I would have to check that out for you. But outside of that, you have your visor. There's a little bit of storage up on top of each one here. Your reading lights. Then you have your, obviously, your driving light there. But yeah, and then tucked up the top, place to hold your shades. Just tucks in right there. And that's just a little press. All right. So at the front here, you have a window shade. You just release the clips here, and then you can black it out. You can see it just fits right underneath the mirror. The other one operates the same, and they connect together. And yeah, it keeps the sun from beating down inside the unit when you're sleeping. And then you just want to flip that down, slide it back in, lock it into place, and then put your Velcro through the strap to secure it for travel. And your chairs also swivel. I'm actually going to demonstrate on the passenger side here. There's a little lever in the front, just like your normal car, you want to pull forward. And then this right here, you want to release that, and that spins the chair right around. So, but you want to pull the chair as far forward as possible that it does swivel around for the best position. And the driver's seat does the same as well, same controls. And obviously the dials on the side adjust the back and forth of the back seating, as well as the pivot of the bottom on this one. And that just locks back into place, and then you're pretty much golden there. Now, you sit up like that. You can stop them in certain positions for taller people just by jacking it up like that. But all the way up to reset it, right back down to the lowest. And obviously the headrests go up as well. And yeah, one more area. Sorry, forgot about this little storage here. Yeah, you can house maps or whatever you see fit in there. And that's just got the handle there to lift up to release. That snaps back into play there. All right, at the ceiling here, you have your skylight, which right now is in the, blocking the sun out. You have two options of that, and then letting, a little sunscreen here. And then you can separate the two, just like that, and you can open the skylight. So there's a button on this side here that releases the handle, and you want to swing that down, and you lift it up. So there are two positions. You can have it all the way open, or three positions, all the way open, or there's grooves on the side that you can line it up to hold it out. And there, and just like that, just for some airflow, and then obviously all the way up, locked into place to close. And then, like I said, keep that sun from beaming in on us. Okay, above the sink area here, you have your fantastic fan. To turn it on, to open it, I should say, you flick that switch. It will stay in the speed that it was on from when it first left off, and it just opens up on its own. No issues there. Now, one is being the lowest speed. You have two, and you have three here. If you want to leave the vent open, don't want to have the fan on, you can cut the fan off here, and the vent will just stay open. You do have a 4 amp cylinder fuse there if anything happens to fail with this. Now, in order to close this vent, you must leave it with the fan on, and then you hit this switch here, which will automatically close it. Activating the pressure switch, killing the fan altogether. Because if you don't have the fan on, the lid's not going to close. And just like that, you're good. And now, before we exit your motorhome, the one thing here, you have a sliding screen door. It has two hooks here on the side for it to catch when it's closed. Just like that. Keep all the bugs out of there. And then just to release, this handle slides the length of the door. So, so you can close it back, just like that, and then let it slide back down to the bottom. Just like that there. No pocket storage in the entry door, but and the same screen as the windows are on the door as well. That is your Serenity 2018 model. Um, yeah, if there is any questions you guys have, feel free to call Traveland. We'd be happy to answer any questions you have. Just remember, I'm only here Tuesday to Saturdays if you have any questions for me. But it's been a pleasure. I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks.